I want to ask you guys a few questions before Michelle and I get out of here, head to this little party we got invited to. So I'm going to start off with the title. You guys saw the title of the video. And is this title acceptable? Is this title acceptable? Because there's going to be a mixed opinions and varying degrees of tolerance for titling and the term clickbait. And I saw a video yesterday or the day before, and the video was titled something along the lines of, I got caught cheating on my wife with a trans woman, or something like that. And it was either recommended or something my audience watches, or it was suggesting one of my videos. So I clicked on it. I was intrigued, and the video goes on to tell the story of how some guy got caught, he got busted cheating on his wife with a trans woman. Now, the video was in fact a storytelling session. It was a storytelling session. And it wasn't the actual person telling the story who this happened to, although the title said, I got caught. Never clarified that it was reading someone else's story, never clarified that it was a reaction, never clarified really. It was implied. The I was the royal I guess. So when you see a title like what I chose to go with today, and you hear the story that I have to share with you, is that acceptable? Because I am curious. Now, this won't necessarily sway my opinion on how I choose to title my videos, but also depending on the performance of the video will determine, what strategies will be deployed in the future. Now, that's number one. Number two is a story I came across of a young woman, it seems. I haven't read the story, I only saw the headline. And this isn't the first story like this that I've come across, but essentially she's got 2 degrees and she's in tears, crying about the response she received from submitting her application to minimum wage job offers. And the real question I have is not so much about this story in this article, but of personal satisfaction. And I actually know some folks who are in similar situations with a degree or 2 or 3, extremely qualified to be employed in a very, very high income earning career, or position or role, or either way. They have chosen after, and it's funny, I have this thought, I have this theory, and it's that most people don't know what they really want to do. They don't. Most people only think they know what they want to do. And this is why people go to college. This is why people end up with jobs that they hate, because this is why people end up in bad relationships. This is why people are, in essence, unhappy in certain situations, because they thought that what they were getting themselves into was going to be what they wanted, and only after they were, after they dove into the deep end, they realized this is exactly not what I want. So I have this theory that most people don't know what they want. They only know what they don't want because they've experienced it. So they're going to continuously look for the next thing that they think that they may want before they find it, because they don't really know what it is. They only know what they want to try, and then determine, for instance, I wanted a certain job, and then I realized I didn't. I wanted to start my own company, and then I realized I didn't. I wanted to create content on YouTube, and then I realized something very, very interesting, which isn't necessarily that I didn't, But there's some things that I am discovering and learning firsthand here that I wasn't necessarily expecting before I jumped into this deep end of the pool. Now, moving on to the third point here is the feedback, or actually, we'll save feedback for last. The third one that I have for you is lying. I am not lying, but if I were to lie, is it okay? Because I just came across another YouTube channel, I think his name was Soggy Cereal, and he was exposing Arak, which Arak is a really large YouTuber, as well as a few others, the Prince family and some others, some TikTokers, that essentially are lying. Why? Because they know how to get the views. They know what the audience is interested in. They know what the trends are, but they also know that this is not their life. So they would essentially have to lie in order to be able to produce the content that would then in turn provide them with the viral views and the large paychecks, the brand deals, the sponsorships, the signups for their OnlyFans, all these different things. So the question is, YouTube seems to be okay with it. YouTube corporate, YouTube algorithm, YouTube subscribers, YouTube viewers, YouTube advertisers. So if, granted, these are interesting forms of the term and definition of lying, but let's just say, for instance, we're going to be homeless because you're moving out of your former mansion and you have a 3-day window before you close on your new mansion, coming in at $15 million. So for 3 days, you technically don't own a home. So you're homeless. Is that lie okay? Is that acceptable? Or this is just fresh in my mind, fresh in my memory from having watched this video. Giving birth, the wife, the mother gives birth to their child. She then immediately looks at the child and then looks at the camera and then looks at the child and says, well, I thought you were going to have prettier eyes. When I was born, I had pretty eyes. You just got these brown eyes. I thought you were going to have blue eyes. How come you don't have pretty eyes? So this seemingly unhappy and unsatisfied newborn parent, not new mother because she had children before, is unhappy with their child. The amniocentesis, I think that's how you say it. I can't say it. The mammograms, you know, you will never know yet what eye color your child will have until they're born, until you're actually holding them. And fortunately, this child didn't wind up decapitated and, you know, murdered, because that's a thing now. But seemingly the mother was not pleased. So the follow-up video is giving up our child for adoption. Prank. Is that a lie? Is that okay? Is that right or is that wrong? Or does it matter if it provides entertainment for the audience? It's funny because I'm always trying to figure out how to bring the most value to you guys in my videos. But sometimes I struggle with that because I feel like the audience doesn't value the same values that I have, and therefore I lose my own value in the content that I bring, as I struggle with the balance of trying to be morally and ethically myself and do what I think is right and try to help people, versus what I know and I see works and gets views and ultimately pays the most money. So it seems like YouTube's cool with it and a lot of other people are cool with it. So I'm asking you guys, is it cool to lie if it's for YouTube and it pays me a lot of money? Additionally, if I knew for a fact that some of the YouTubers that you watch, the other channels that you watch through my YouTube studio analytics, what it shows, what it tells me, and the community posts that you guys have commented on and told me the channels that you watch. If I had irrefutable evidence that these channels have produced videos that are essentially lying to you, the question is, would you want to know? Or would you say, Kevin, I don't want to know that. You know, never meet your heroes. Like, just keep it to yourself. So just kind of curious on that. I will be reading your comments and your feedback. But lastly, I was watching Jay Klaus a little bit. He had a Harvard psychiatrist on his channel, on his podcast. I think his name was Dr. K. I think it was. Don't quote me on that. But he enlightened me in this probably hour-long podcast that I can't wait to finish watching, because this is the type of content that I like to watch. Although then the content that I create isn't necessarily along the lines of the content I like to consume, because I feel like I'm trapped in this box that YouTube has put me in that leads me to have to lie or follow and chase a trend or whatever just to pay the rent. But he made a valid point, and it had to do with feedback. So with that being said, I'm going to take his suggestion, and I'm not going to elaborate here on this because really I spent too much time here. I really need to get going. We're supposed to be there in like 20 minutes. So I'll drop a link down below in the description. If you guys want to check out the podcast, let me know what you think about what the doctor had to say about this, the Harvard psychiatrist had to say about feedback and managing feedback and the mental health of a content creator and YouTuber, and essentially how it will impact how I behave and how I will ultimately manage the feedback on this channel and many others. I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Thank you for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you guys on the next one.